So I'm back from Nats. Scrubbed the main event. Figured I would. Didn't do nearly as well as I hoped I would, but that's mostly because of work. I didn't have nearly enough time for testing as I would have liked, and I got punished for it. Round one was against Sprite, and I almost managed to win that match, but due to my lack of testing for that matchup specifically, a specific interaction involving Nightmare Italy came up that I was not aware of, and I threw that game. Round two was against Flu, and I just had zero testing against that deck with this, so I lost that matchup handily. Didn't help that in that match, or for the main event, I was main decking Nibs, and that doesn't do fucking anything against either of those matchups. So, scrubbed the main event, which is fine. I didn't expect to do well at the main event, but I went and did some sides. Managed to take down a Winamat. Got one of these nice things. Got all the coins from this event, including a gold ultimate, which was cool. Got a couple other playmats. I got the one that was for just signing up, and then I had enough tickets to get a Dark World playmat, which was dope. Otherwise, yeah, let's just get on the profile so I can record it. Before I get into this, though, I was actually sponsored for this event, so shout out to Gamut's Games and Gifts. My boy Will actually hooked me up with some neat t-shirts and some we usually do a lot of locals training down there, so it's pretty cool. Thanks to them. Anyway, to the profile. I'm gonna skip over most of the stuff you already know. 3 Fenrir, 2 Unicorn, it's standard, you have to play them. 3 Rice Heart. This was different for this event, however. I usually play 2, but in this, after more testing, I decided to go back to playing 3 of this again because it allows you to play into hand traps a little bit better. I was expecting a lot of mirror matches, so this card came up a lot, where you could just normal this, make a Rice Heart. I didn't see a single mirror match the entire weekend, but it would have been great in theory. 1 Scareclaw, 1 Ogre. I'm seeing most people post ban lists play Ogre again, and then at Nats, I didn't see a single person play this. I think this card's cracked in the mirror. It also lets you play through evenly fairly well. You just need to, if you get, Jesus. Or excuse me, if it lets you play through Nibiru extremely well, not evenly. If you get nibbed, you'll have the preparation, and in the combo, you'll search this Kashtira Scareclaw. Your board will get cleared, you'll go Scareclaw, banish your Rice Heart, and then prep revive the Rice Heart, and you'll get a few materials off of that just by your opponent playing their deck. So that was really helpful. It also really helps your long game with preparation, so that way you can keep maintaining card advantage. And that came up a lot against Runic Sprite, which was by far my grindiest matchup that I saw all weekend. And then that's all the monsters, spells, planet, terraforming, 3 birth, 3 theosis, 3 prosby. This is all pretty standard stuff. Birth, preparation, or excuse me, Big Bang birth or Big Bang prep. I already explained what preparation's good. I did get to resolve its other effects a couple times after getting impermed, which was kind of nice. But other than that, I kind of already went over it. That's it for the engine. There was a lot of room for non-engine, as most Kashtira lists do. 3 Ash, 3 Mourner. I played Mourner in the main event. Mourner was really good for when I did draw it. It was nice to just essentially turn off Gigantic. It forced them into a game state where they had to get any resources off Gigantic. They had to make it using 2 dudes, including usually a red or a carrot, which meant it was one less negation to deal with on your turn, as well as essentially forcing them to bottleneck their resources, making them more susceptible to other hand traps like Ash Blossom or Imperm. 3 copies of Shifter. I'm still back and forth on this card, man. I didn't main it for the main event, and I did not regret it at all. I mean, given it was only 2 rounds. But I put it back in because I saw a lot more Runic and other stuff during the side events, so I put those back in. 3 copies of Book of Moon. I still don't know if I like this card or not. I still think I prefer Tactics or Thrust over this thing, but that's more to get into later. And 3 Imperm. Nothing much to say about Imperm. It's better effect veiler these days, which is sad, but it is what it is. 1 Rice Heart. I actually played 3 copy Era. The 3rd one's just in my pile for the Prosby targets. I played 3 of this because in the main combo you'll make 2 of this and then make the Rice Heart over the second one, so you immediately have 3 materials. And then I played 1 Big Eye, 1 Annihilation, Zeus, Draco Sack. This is how it's skill draining against Labyrinth. Didn't come up, so it doesn't matter again. Donner and Baron. I made Baron a lot. Because when you're playing a ton of hand traps like Ash and Mourner, and I was at one point playing Effect Veiler at some point, you can make things like this in Omega to turn into, which was pretty nice. If you had a suboptimal hand where, like, if you had a Fenrir but it got impermed, this was actually pretty dope because you could normally Ash make this, and then on your turn you have not only follow-up but a Fenrir as well. And then Flare Metal. This card clapped against Runic. Your opponent not being able to out this with Destruction, I believe, was really good. And then the only way they had to deal with this is they opened Flashing Fire and Destruction, which was extremely hard for them to do, especially while keep maintaining resources. And they still took upwards of 1,000 damage just to get those cards on the field, or just to get those cards. So this was really good. My best matchup this entire weekend was the finals of the Winamat, where I was playing against Runic Sprite. I'd managed to whittle down his resources because I was looping Birth in preparation with Theosis every time he banished my cards. I managed during my combos not to have Theosis to hand, so he just kept banishing it, and I kept adding back Birth, which gave me the ability to keep DD crowing all of his fountain targets, which was really nice. Burning for 1,000, like the last play of game 1 was he billed me for 6. But my end board was double Fenrir, this, a Rise Heart. So just keeping him on no resources while keeping a body on the field was really good in that matchup. Happiness, this is cuttable. I'm probably going to put in like a second Big Eye or a second Zeus or something over this. This was here just to out Dragoon, but Zeus does the same thing, and I'd rather have more copies of that in the mirror match. Goliath, Untis, Garura. Untis overperformed. I thought Garura would be a better attach over the weekend, but Untis, every time my opponent would every time my opponent would out my Rise Heart, I punished them for it. Similar to how Mirror Jade works. That was pretty good. I enjoyed doing that. And then side. This is the thing that changed the most between playing the main event and the side, because, like I said earlier, I was main decking Nib at one point, and to be fair, when it worked great. It's just that the problem was I only saw matchups where it wasn't that great. 3 Econ, never cited this in. I never saw Cash all weekend, so this was not great. Cosmic, I cited this in almost every matchup. Any variant other than Runic Sprite sides in anti-spell against you, so it's easy to side this in knowing that they're going to have the anti-spell, and if they don't, this outs the double cross fairly easily. 1 Duster, 2 Thrust. Picked these up last minute. Didn't have these for the main event, but I picked them up during the side events, and I ended up loving it. Getting to things like Duster against Labyrinth, or Dark Ruler, or evenly against Runic or anything else was really, really good. I need to test with the ratios more and more. I'm debating if I want to do 2-2-2 instead of 3-3-2. I might do 3 of this and then 2 of each of these, just because that might be optimal. I'm definitely thinking about cutting Econ for something like Nib. And then side deck was pretty standard stuff. The only thing I never used was Econ, so I'll probably end up swapping that out for something else, maybe Tactics or something. Who knows? And then yeah, that's the deck list. I don't know. It was great going to Nats for the first time since my hiatus. I loved it. I got to hang out with my boy Kevin and my friend Set. They were both great. We had a ton of fun just testing and playing sides. It was amazing. Especially since post-COVID, it was an amazingly fun time just hanging out with friends, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And spending way too much fucking money on these coins I didn't need to buy. But I do have the whole set, which is something, I guess. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I'm in the comments for fucking months after I make content, because I don't make content for months. And then, yeah. Also, I had MBT sign my nut. That was pretty fun. Have a good one.